Don't lower your standards to meet their needs. Instead, raise your standards so you no longer attract people who want you to lower them. Let's get on board with this vibe for 2023, okay? If you listen to the show, which you better, because you're listening to it right now, you know I always say like attracts like. Whatever crap we're settling for and accepting in our businesses, careers, friendship, love life, and bank accounts will continue to show up until we decide we deserve something different and refuse to accept anything less. We're going to write your new money contract today in this episode. If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash-making advice. Now let's get to it. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? I'm your host, Tiffany Carter, and we are not going to tolerate any unacceptable behavior, unacceptable circumstances, unacceptable bullshit in 2023. Can I hear an amen? What I notice people focusing on, and I used to do this too, is focusing on like what I want to manifest, what I want to call in, what are my intentions. Well, I also want you to make a very deliberate, conscious choice of what you're no longer available for in 2023. And you don't have to wait till 2023. You can decide that right now. I am no longer available for one-sided friendships. I am no longer available to do all the heavy emotional lifting in my relationship. I am no longer available for low vibration clients who are broke. You've got to be able to declare and energetically show up for what you are available for and what you will no longer accept, tolerate, or allow in your life, and really own it. And it's incredible what ends up happening. You end up attracting, of course, more of what you want. But what I find to be more of a wild phenomenon is all the stuff and the people and the things that you repel. And it can feel really scary at first because people who you do have an emotional connection with, or when a bunch of clients or people you thought were clients, or you put out a new program and you're not getting as many applications, or you're getting fewer responses, but the people are higher quality, or it feels clients are trickling in. It can mess with your head, but you've got to trust that it's because it's being weeded out. The garden's being weeded for you. The universe is taking away these weeds. And what happens with weeds in a garden? Man, they tend to overtake everything else. They can even cause other beautiful plants to die if you don't do anything with them. And in going with this analogy, if you keep letting them be, they will continue to take over to a point where your entire garden, your entire backyard, all of your grass will end up being all weeds, because the power of that negative scarcity, icky, just low frequency energy, it's so potent and powerful in a different way. It's so potent and powerful, it can, like I said, kill all the other beautiful flowers and all the other plants. It can overtake everything because that negative charged energy, wow, does that quickly become a giant wet weighted blanket in our lives if we're not careful, and it creeps up on you. That's why I like this garden analogy. When you go see maybe like a dandelion, that's like a nice weed, by the way. That's not a good example. I don't know the name of weeds, okay? But if we're looking at like a weed for an example, you're like, oh, there's a weed, I need to get to it. I need to pull it out. That's ugly. And then you forget. And then maybe you're outside and you look again and now there's 3 and it's, I forgot to pick that weed. Now there's more. I didn't see them there. And a lot of times we don't notice when these toxic people, situations, clients, circumstances, it can even be objects that you have in your home or clutter. It could even be just things that you're a part of, like programs, emails you're signed up for, people you follow. It can even be foods. You don't notice how cancerous and how toxic they are until it's gotten to a high enough pain point where it's causing life disruption and trauma and drama for you. So you're going to have this weeded out, and that's not going to feel comfortable at first. And you just need to trust that everything's being weeded because of what you've clearly stated you're no longer available for, you're no longer an energetic match for, it's no longer being allowed in your life. You're setting these very clear physical, mental, and energetic boundaries. There's going to be this weird period where you're going to go look out at a backyard or go look at your garden, and it's going to look very sparse. Sparse? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. And you're going to be able to see that. And it's like, oh my God, there's so much dirt. And it's kind of like, it looks kind of weird. It's like the Charlie Brown Christmas tree thing going on. Like, oh, that doesn't look really good out there. And you're almost going to feel tempted to go fill it. Like you're going to want to fill it because that empty space feels so uncomfortable, so unfamiliar, so weird. Even if you feel like you have more peace in your life and more time in your life and more freedom in your life, even if you feel better, it's still unfamiliar. And you've got to be willing to sit in that in-between season and know that it's coming. Know that the beautiful flowers are blooming. Know that there'll be a right time that soil will be ready for more to be planted and for you to carefully curate what goes into this space. Because these kind of boundaries that you set with people and with yourself around behaviors and your own habits, these are easy to say but hard to carry out. Because in order to start attracting the best, you will have to have some life disruptions. And we're hardwired as human beings to avoid pain, to avoid discomfort, to avoid disruption, sadness, hurt. This is why so many of these fantasy marketers come at us and are able to get us in the DMs and get people to pay $10,000 to be in Forbes. And it's a $1 billion industry to buy followers and likes and views and all of this crap because they're going after people's temporary discomfort that they're not willing to sit in while they're waiting for the people to come. You know, you post, you're sharing your stuff, you've decided that you're really going in, you know, all in on your business and you're putting all this stuff out there and you're giving and you're giving and you're giving and it feels like no one's listening and almost no one's coming back and what the hell and this doesn't feel good. That's the garden analogy where you maybe have like 2 plants and the rest is like dirt and that's all that's there. It's very uncomfortable. It looks awkward. It feels weird. It messes with your ego. And that's why most people quit or they do crazy things and spend money on buying likes, buying followers, buying press, doing all sorts of weird things. And you don't need to do any of those things. It's about surrendering and trusting that's coming. This is part of the process. All the things you want are on their way to you. But if you're not willing to sit in the messy season of in between, when all the seeds have been planted and you're trusting they will grow, do you stand over a damn plant and go, are you growing? Do you go look at a plant and you're like, you put some seeds in there and you're like, are you growing? Where are you? Are you coming out? Is this thing growing? What's happening? Do you sit there and obsess about it all day like you do with a damn reel where you refresh it 80 times to see if it's going to get more views and then it doesn't and you get pissed off? Of course you don't. You plant it, you tend to the soil as best as you can, you hope for the best, you pray for it to grow, you kind of forget about it, you keep doing your thing, you keep showing up, and then pretty soon, before you know it, you have a sprout. you have a sprout, and then you're like, oh my God, I actually planted something. It's actually working. But most people quit and give up or end up in a scarcity, desperate spiral energy when it's not coming on your time frame. And then you end up putting weird content out there with this icky energy and repel more people and actually make this process take way longer than it needs to. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that no one's listening. This isn't going to work. Why am I doing this? This is so stupid. I should just quit. You're like, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm doing. Some people will get upset with you. You'll have to let go of some toxic clients. You may end up realizing that most of your friends suck and it hurts, or that you've outgrown them. You'll need to invest more money into yourself and your business, and it'll be scary and uncomfortable at first because you're going to have to do it before you're ready. You're going to have to do it before the money is flowing in a way that feels abundant to you. You're going to have to do it before you know what the hell you're doing. You're going to have to do it before and have faith and trust and believe in yourself and not be dependent on external factors to validate that what you're doing is right or that what you're doing is going to work. If I sat there and was waiting for a plant to grow, and in order for me to believe it was going to grow, I had to see evidence of it growing, well, then we have a problem there. I mean, because I'm not going to see evidence of growth until you see the damn thing sprouting. And depending on the plant, that can take a while. You have to have belief and conviction in yourself that you're going to show up until it works, and that you're trusting that you have a knowing it will work. And when you're in a spot where you're not sure and you're left to your own devices and you don't have that support around you, well, then you need to go and invest in support. That's part of why, for the first time ever, I've opened my winter applications for my 2-month private business coaching program now. Because like I always say, you're either doing things and activities to set yourself up for success and stack the odds in your favor, or you're doing things and activities that are setting yourself up to remain stuck or to fail. And I would rather you walk in to 2023 knowing, with conviction, I've got Tiffany as my coach by my side. I've got this set up in this area of my life. I have a plan over here. I have accountability here. And it's not just me putting these intentions out. It's not me just writing some stuff down. It's not me just creating a vision board. I actually have stuff in place that will make me show up, where I will feel supported, and I won't just be doing this stuff on my own and left to my own devices. Because when you're left to your own devices, it's very dangerous. It's a recipe for quitting. It's a recipe for not following through. And you already know you had things you didn't achieve, complete, start this year. You already know that. That's why people start getting called the November crazies. It starts in November, where people start really reflecting on what they didn't do, what they quit on, what they could have done more, what they half-assed. And half-measured action is going to get you half-measured cash. So if you want your business to bring in that freedom level cash, that life-changing cash, the cash that gives you the options, doing something that you love, what are you willing to do to set yourself up for that? So you can swipe up. The application link is right inside the show notes. And that's why I have it by application only, because we can determine if this is the absolute best fit for you at this time. I work with brand new entrepreneurs starting from scratch. And I also work with well-established entrepreneurs who are looking to scale into the high 6 figures, 7 figures, and 8 figures. That's why it's customized private coaching. So don't feel like you're not far enough along to work with me. You're not well-known enough to work with me. You don't have enough followers to work with me. You're not this or that to work with me. Those are all stories that are keeping you stuck. And you have a choice. You can stay stuck in that story, or you can take an action that's going to stack the odds in your favor. So swipe up, the link's in there. I only take 6 private clients at a time, so these tend to fill up very quickly. To continue to settle for less than you desire ends up coming at an even higher cost. It costs you your complete happiness. It costs you fulfillment. It costs you feeling heard and supported. It costs you financially having limitless options to do, live, have, and experience your wildest desires. That's why for the rest of this year, I'm dedicating all my podcast episodes to rewiring your mind for expecting the best and getting it. So let's take a look at this money contract that you're going to make for 2023. And you can start it, like I said earlier, you can start it right now. What are you not available for anymore? I'd rather you start there. You're not available for living paycheck to paycheck. You're not available for it being feast or famine in your business. You're not available to where your income is unpredictable and you have anxiety around it. You're no longer available for $100,000 a year. You're no longer available for $10,000 months. And that doesn't mean you don't appreciate what you do have. But you're no longer available for it. I'm no longer a match than this. I've grown past this. So you can acknowledge and thank where you are at this point. You're no longer available for your program to be priced at $1,200. You're no longer available for only selling low ticket things. You're no longer available for whiny, victim-y, I'm a broke ass clients. I really want you to state that. I'd prefer you state it out loud, even though I know you'll look a little crazy, but I have no shame in my game. People already know I'm crazy. If you're listening to this show and if you are an entrepreneur or even want to start a business, let's be honest, you already are a little weird and crazy. You're in this world and you probably follow a lot of people who are doing these things. So you might be thinking, God, everyone's a coach now. Everyone's doing this now. Everyone's doing that now. I hate to break it to you, but they're not. This is a very small percentage of us who are doing this in the entire world. Because of what you're doing and what you desire is you end up seeing it. So you're focused on it. So you're seeing more of it. I don't know if you've ever played the game. I call it the red car game. Any kind of car you pick, but you could just pick a red car, like any car. I see red cars. I see red cars everywhere. And you say that every time before you hit the road. I see red cars everywhere. You will see red cars everywhere. Guaranteed. It's no different with this of what you see for yourself and what you no longer are willing to accept. You're going to end up seeing evidence of that. That's the beauty of how all of this works. So I want you to start there. Then I want you to make the energetic contract of universe, God, spirits, aliens, whoever the hell you speak to, or all of them. In my case, everybody. I need like the full committee, like everyone's involved. Get the committee together. Oh my God, if I was like a cartoonist, it'd be a hysterical cartoon. Like we have the full committee going. Let's have a committee meeting. And I want to make it clear, this is what I'm not available for. And here's what I am an energetic match for. This is what I'm a new energetic match for. This is the version. This is the frequency I'm in. This is what's happening. And I just want to make sure everyone knows here in my spirit committee. And you're also obviously saying it to yourself and your higher self. So you're available. I'll do one of mine. There's nothing less. I have a minimum, an absolute minimum guaranteed, no matter how little I work, of $100,000 a month, guaranteed in one of my businesses. That's not even a stretch for me because that's what it is most months anyway. That's like at a very minimum. But my normals, let's just say my normal is $250,000 a month. That's my new normal. That's what I'm an energetic match for. I'm here for it. I'm available for it. It is happening. And now it's in writing. And so it is. That's that. it's because you said it, because you stated it, because you decided, because you've made a new money contract. It is. There doesn't need to be, I need to work harder for it. I need to be more talented in this area for it. I need to have a bigger audience for it. I need this for it. No, you're stating it, and so it is. So what's going to end up happening is, as long as you allow yourself the time to be in stillness and you do the abundance walks, and if you have not downloaded that, it's free, but not all free shit is good. My free shit's amazing. So we don't do anything basic over here. I don't waste your time. But you got to swipe up and get this damn thing, because thousands of people have downloaded it, and the stuff that happens when they're in these abundance walks, because you're slowing down, you're taking a moment, you're not multitasking, doing a million things. You're present, you're able to then get the signs and get the guidance and get the creative ideas and have the names pop in your head and have things happen because you're in the abundance zone that are going to get you to that energetic match of this new money contract you're making. So I will go for these walks when I'm wanting to create a program or I have a new batch of podcast episodes. That's how I decided, wait a second, why wouldn't I make all of my episodes for the rest of the year all dedicated to setting you up to walk into 2023 in the abundance zone? I didn't come up with that while sitting here at my computer. I didn't come up with that while running 50 errands. I didn't come up with that while obsessively thinking about it. I came up with that on an abundance walk, thinking about nothing, and it came to me. And then right after that, I looked down and see a purple feather. And it was obviously an artificial feather, which God knows where that came from. Was someone wearing a boa at the beach? Probably in LA, I imagine. And here's the thing that I really I have to say this. If I don't understand, I think sweater sets are cute. I have a couple sweater sets. But if you're wearing a sweater fucking set in yoga, I don't know. I don't think we can be friends, because that means you don't sweat. And the yoga classes I do, it's not like it's yin yoga. This is a workout, and you're wearing stacked bracelets, stacked necklaces, and a sweater set. I don't know what to do with you. I mean, good for you. Maybe I should add that to my contract. I am committing I'm no longer available for excess sweating. I think that's fair. I'm kind of tired of excess sweating. I know it's good for me, and I'm sure that's why my skin is great, but sometimes it gets really old, and I'm kind of over it. But anything that you want out of your life and anything you want in, it's decided because it's so, because you say it's so. You say it to the committee, and I want you to picture your committee nodding its head okay. And they're taking out, they're taking out a Sharpie and pen, and they're writing down, she says it's so, it's so. Yep, it's so. They're nodding their head, because your highest self, that spiritual committee of yours, it's ready to go. But you've got to tell it which direction. Some of them are rolling their eyes going, good Lord, when was Sylvie going to get it together, man? She has been, God, these low-level friends of hers that she's been hanging around, where she does everything for them and they don't really do much back, and they're low-key jealous of her. Man, we've been waiting 18 years for her to drop this shit. Then there's Barbara. Barbara, oh my God. Thank God she's going to divorce this guy. Have fun with it. This stuff gets to be fun. And when you're on these abundance walks, when you're doing these exercises, I even want you to picture, you're going to hear some of them say stuff back to you. I hear God speak to me. I mean, God's funny. It doesn't have to be serious. Sometimes the messages are more serious. But when I saw that purple feather, I went, confirmation. I wouldn't have seen that if I didn't give myself the time and the space and be present and go on this walk. I wouldn't have got the idea to do this for the rest of the year, to pour into you, and you wouldn't be listening to the episode. And then the domino effect of you doing this exercise, me pouring my abundance and my high frequency manifesting energy onto you, is only going to make your manifestations happen faster, because this happens in a collective. And now you pour that into the people around you, and what beautiful abundance is getting spread around. Share this episode with a friend. Share it in your social media. Write me a damn review. Click the 5 stars if you don't have time to write the review. Click the 5 stars on Spotify. Click them on Apple. Share that. Be in that energy of abundance by sharing the things that are working for you. But it is because it's so. I want you to really take that away. You can say that after anything that you put out there. I'm now an energetic match for people who show up in relationships of all kinds with me, whether they are people who work for me, people who are friends of mine, clients, lovers. I am an energetic match for beautiful, genuine, heartfelt, honest, trustworthy, fun, intuitive, beautiful people who support me and want the best for me. And we do that for one another. And it is because I say it is. It is because it's so. And now they're scribbling up there. But once you put that out there and then you go for these walks, you take this time to be present with spirit. You take this time to have these moments. This is when your $1 million ideas come to you. This is when a problem of maybe your audience not growing fast enough will come to you. This is when a lot of people end up applying to work with me. They just get a very clear download where it's like, it's time. It's time to work with her. It's time to do this. Or you then open your phone and you see someone talking about a program, and then you have this really strong, energetic reaction of leaning in, and they're like, there's something here for me. I need to do this. Instead of resisting it, trust it. Because if you don't trust, if I didn't trust that feather, if I didn't trust the programs and masterminds and coaches that I was leaned into and getting messages and getting pulled towards, even books, podcasts, if I did not trust that and trust those things, what I'm basically saying to the universe is, okay, you don't have to send me signs anymore because she ignores them. Well, we'll send her maybe another sign or two, but if she's not gonna look, we'll hold off on the signs for a while. Honor those and trust those. And you can even ask, please help me by giving me an undeniable sign. You can do that. But don't get greedy with it and then require 25 signs, because now again, you're trying to use spirituality to get external validation and have that replace your own self-belief and conviction in what you're doing. And that, my friend, will not end well. You won't get a sign. In fact, you'll have other things that happen that will force you to work through other stuff. But that's how simple it gets to be to write your new money contract. It's that simple. It does not need to be some hard thing. It's waiting for you to be ready to raise to that frequency. And you just weren't ready yet, and now you are. What are you ready for? What is it time for? You know what the answer is. It's already, there's numbers, there's things that are already coming to you. You already know. Trust those are in there for a reason. There's God knows how many combinations of numbers, and that's what's coming to your head. There's something there to look at. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.